These are some realizations that I'm having that I think other people can benefit from. So the past is just memory, right? The past is just imprints on the mind, and the future is projections. They're just projections of the mind. They're predictions. They're not solidified. And they both are only experienced in the now. The past and the future are both experienced in the now. So my thing has been, I've always been looking for purpose and for fulfillment and for love and for peace and at homeness, stability within myself and my life. I've always been searching for that in the future moments. The mind creates an identity around these things, around the past and future, whether you're ruminating on the past or you're focused on the future, you're afraid of future events, you're afraid what's going to happen in the future, and it does not exist. None of it exists. And if we do create things that come true, our projections comes true, it's because we're holding focus to that, and we've created it through our fears via a law of attraction. And because we are powerful creators, our egoic mind creates an identity around these, and it attaches itself to these outcomes. It literally destroys our lives because it runs the show. I think it's really, really important to keep bringing yourself back throughout the day. Is what I've been doing, is completely bringing myself back all throughout the day. I notice if I start to leave, if I start to go in the future and start, what should I do to get here? What should I do to go there? How can I feel more happy, or what's going to make me feel happy in the future? And we got to keep drawing ourselves back, because happiness and love and fulfillment exists in the now. And when we are always chasing it in the future, because I am guilty of this, when we are always chasing it, we will always be chasing it. We will never get it, because it can only be felt now. The amount of outcome attachment we have is pretty insane, and it's so, that's what the American dream is based out of. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and it creates this future outcome for you. You have it all. You get the wife, you get the house, you get the car, you get the steady job, and then you're happy. And the happiness never comes, and that's the biggest thing about the American dream, is the happiness never comes, because we're always chasing this end event. And the end event, sure, maybe it happens in some aspects, like you get those things, but it wasn't your sense of completion and fulfillment that you were meant to find within yourself, moment to moment. You have to create it for yourself right now, in the now, because the now is all that exists and will ever only exist. And so that is the biggest message that I want to send today, is to start creating these things within yourself. And whatever you can do to remind yourself, even if it's just one conscious breath, that you pull yourself back if you're thinking about the past or thinking about the future. Feel your heartbeat. Take a breath, feel it in your stomach, feel it on the tip of your nose, feel the air moving in and out. I do it while I'm driving sometimes. We all zone out. We're all guilty of zoning out while we drive, right? Our subconscious mind takes over and we drive, and we get to where we're going, not even knowing how we got there, right? While you're driving, like, feel the vibrations of the road, feel your hands on the steering wheel, feel your feet doing the work on the gas and the brake, and in my case, clutch too. I drive a manual. Feel the vibrations, hear the sounds, feel the tires on the road, hear the tires on the road, hear the wind. Just bring yourself back for a moment. And while you're cooking, when you get home from work or whatever, when you're making dinner, be here. Like, feel yourself cutting, hear the sounds. If you're washing dishes, focus, just even if it's just for a couple seconds, go into your body, feel your body, just do whatever you can, and make this a usual practice to keep bringing yourself back. And slowly over time, I think we can build less and less mind chatter and more presence, because the past does not exist. I think it's healthy to go and evaluate your past in a objective and detached manner. I think it's really important to go back and to figure out why things are the way they are now, what got you here, and what you can do to avoid creating similar situations, especially if they're not ideal. I think we can use that past and the experience to create how we move forward, but we are creating the future and the forward from the now. And I have no problem going back to my past and figuring out how I got here because of my actions and my thought processes. And I'm realizing how much of my thoughts really determined where I'm at now and in the direction that I was heading before I caught this stuff in action, before I started to really recognize the incessant, consistent thoughts that I was having towards moving my future, because it's really unfolding. I'm really in a place of moving into the unknown. I'm doing new things in my life, and it's not something that my logical, egoic mind can comprehend. So it is scary at times because humans are afraid of the unknown. We like structure and we like routine because it is familiar and because it is known. And so moving into the unknown is very uncomfortable for the ego mind. But our self, our deeper self, our intuitive self, our spiritual self, energetic self, that's where it thrives, is creating through the unknown, because now is all there is. So really anything future is unknown because it is all created and is all happening now. We move from the now. So I think it's really important too that if you're very future focused like I am, and you think that fulfillment is going to happen in the future, if you think a person, a relationship, or a job, or some sort of life destination, if you think that's going to make you feel better, sure, it might contribute to that, but it's only going to be temporary, because the ego mind that creates this identity of reaching this place is always going to find another place to go. It's never going to be here. So we have to find a way to find these feelings, to generate these feelings now. Like, even if it's just the smallest of things. Say you're single like I am and you really want a partner, a life partner. We have to somehow create that love, whether it's focusing on family or friends that you do have, or whether it's building self-love within yourself. I think it's important to build that within yourself, and then it'll reflect and attract that love that you want. It'll attract more of it, and that will become your future. When you are focused in the now, the past and the future kind of just disintegrate. There's no attachment or no charge, and you just flow with life. You can start to flow with life, and this is what I'm really learning and understanding right now, that I've had such an attachment to the future. But this is just a realization that I'm having that I really want to share, and I really want to try to wake people up to, because I think it's so important to recognize if we're doing this. If we allow the mind to keep controlling this and to either be stuck in the past or stuck on a future projected outcome, we're gonna continue to miss opportunities and key moments in our life that we otherwise could be grateful for and be fully present with while they're happening, because we're so focused on getting somewhere, or where we were, or how the past seems more euphoric and nostalgic and it seems more amazing than we gave it credit for, or maybe we weren't grateful enough for the moment that it was. Maybe we could have been more grateful and present in the past, and there can be some regret there as well. So it's a reminder to just stay present. Otherwise the mind can just really take over and create identities and keep us from really just enjoying where we're at, despite the challenges and situations. Life will never be completely free from challenges, and because they're at the end of the day, they're meant for us to grow, and there's growth in realizing alone that there's always going to be challenges and there's always going to be problems. We're never going to be free from problems and challenges. So the goal, the key is really to just accept that alone, that we'll never be free from those. That yes, things can be easier maybe than they currently are, but if we just accept where we're at, it reduces so much suffering. It reduces so much suffering to be here now, because if you're sitting here watching this right now, what's so bad about this moment? What is so bad about this moment? If you have the time to sit here and watch this video, this exact second right now, the clock is ticking, this second right now, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this moment. You're sitting here watching, you're sitting here growing, you're sitting here hopefully being inspired by what I'm telling you. There's nothing wrong with this moment. I'm sure you're safe. I'm sure you're in a safe place. I'm sure you have somebody that cares about you. And if you don't have anybody that cares about you, you can decide to care about yourself. And that is valuable. That is very valuable. You can learn to care about yourself, right? You're more abundant than you think, and there's more love around you than you think. And we're surrounded by love. We're surrounded by nature. We're surrounded by this universal love that resides within us and our true nature. Things aren't so bad. It's only our mind that thinks that it's so bad, and we just have to get out of that by bringing ourselves back. So one thing that happened recently to me was I made a friend. I was like, wow, this chick is really cool. I really wanted to develop a romantic relationship with her. My mind created this whole situation about how it could go. Though we did connect, it didn't lead anywhere romantically. It was strictly platonic, and that's okay. I was okay with that, but the ego, my mind, did not like that because it had already created a whole situation in this outcome that it was relying on for its sense of fulfillment. And when it didn't happen, it was triggered, and I recognized it happening. I think that is the most important thing that you can do, is instead of getting attached to not only the outcome of things that we want to happen, but also spectating from a higher perspective. From like, picture like this is you, right? Picture you're like back here, like up and above, viewing your mind and your thought processes, your ego mind. View yourself as viewing yourself, if that makes sense. Like, view how you're reacting to things from a higher, zoomed out perspective. And I really just watched how I was reacting to the situation, and how attached I was to that specific outcome. And in the grand scheme of things, there's probably something else that's going to happen that the universe kept me from connecting with this person in this way, because something else is probably better, or maybe it would have led down a great path. That's my message for today, and I hope you gained something from this. This is what was coming to me today. I hope you vibe with it, and you had sort of a mini awakening from it, and I hope it resonates with you. So if it does, please consider subscribing to my channel to support these sort of messages, and leave a like, and I will catch you guys in the next video with the next message. Thank you. I love you.